1,000 years ago, longships cut through icy waters, carrying settlers from Iceland to a new and unforgiving land, Greenland. Led by Erik the Red, they sought fertile ground and freedom from old disputes. Against jagged coastlines and towering icebergs, they carved out lives at the edge of the known world. Small wooden churches rose, cattle grazed in green valleys, and for nearly 500 years, these settlers thrived in isolation, treating walrus ivory with Europe and building a society both rugged and ambitious. But their story, like the harsh winter winds, would one day vanish for generations. The Norse settlers adapted to Greenland's extremes. They built turf houses to withstand brutal winters and cultivate hardy crops like barley and rye in short summer seasons. Their survival depended on cattle, sheep, and goats, as well as seal hunting and fishing in icy waters. Though isolated, they thrived through trade. Walrus ivory, furs, and hides flowed to Europe, bringing back iron, timber, and luxuries. Life was hard but structured, bound by Norse laws, faith, and a shared sense of destiny at the edge of the world. But the warmth that once blessed Greenland began to fade. Around the 14th century, the Little Ice Age swept across the North Atlantic. Summers grew shorter, winters longer and harsher. Sea ice expanded, choking trade routes and isolating the settlements. Cattle died from starvation, crops failed under frost, and famine stalked the villages. The once green valleys slowly surrendered to ice and snow, and the Norse way of life became a fragile fight for survival. By the 15th century, the Greenland settlements were crumbling. Farms lay abandoned, livestock pens stood empty, and trade ships from Europe came less and less. The churches that once rang with hymns fell silent, their wooden beams rotting under heavy snow. Written records up, no letters, no sagas, only eerie silence. Archaeologists would later find scattered tools, graves of malnourished children, and signs of desperate survival. The society that had thrived for centuries was fading, like smoke in the Arctic wind. Historians and archaeologists have long debated why the Norse of Greenland vanished. Some believe famine and disease decimated the population. Others suggest that isolation and lack of trade made survival impossible. The harsh climate may have pushed them to abandon their homes, seeking better lands, or perhaps they simply starved to death in silence. Still, no single theory explains it all, leaving their disappearance one of history's coldest mysteries. Another theory tells of encounters with the Thule, ancestors of today's Inuit. The Norse and Thule lived in overlapping regions, and their paths surely crossed. Some evidence suggests trade iron tools found in Inuit sites, walrus ivory in Norse hands. But there are darker possibilities. Conflicts over hunting grounds, violent clashes in times of scarcity, or even the assimilation of Norse survivors into Inuit communities. Did some settlers vanish not through death, but through blending into another culture? The final written trace of the Greenland Norse is a wedding record from 1408, then nothing. No sagas, no letters, no mention of ships returning home. Decades passed, and when sailors finally visited again, the settlements were empty, silent, and lifeless. The thriving community of farmers and traders had dissolved into history, leaving only eerie ruins and unanswered questions. Their end came quietly, without witnesses, as if Greenland itself swallowed them whole. Centuries later, archaeologists uncovered the bones, tools, and ruins of Greenland's lost Norse. Graves revealed malnutrition, frostbite, and disease. Ruined farmhouses told of famine and abandonment. But alongside signs of struggle were mysteries: iron tools in Inuit sites, European artifacts far from any known trade route, and hints that some settlers may have left Greenland entirely. Modern science, from isotope studies to DNA analysis, continues to piece together fragments of this cold case. Yet the final chapter remains unwritten. Modern researchers have proposed bold theories. Some say climate collapse made survival impossible. Others point to fragile trade dependency, social rigidity, or even religious inflexibility that prevented adaptation. A few believe some settlers tried to return to Iceland or Vinland and were lost at sea. The idea of cultural assimilation persists to did the Norse become Inuit in spirit and skin, leaving no written legacy. With no eyewitnesses, only ruins and silence remain. The truth, like Greenland's cold wind, slips through our fingers. Today, the ruins of Greenland's Norse settlements still stand, silent against the Arctic wind. They are a reminder that even the strongest societies can vanish without a trace. Their story warns us of climate, isolation, and the fragility of human endurance. Yet it also fascinates because some mysteries refuse to be solved, their final fate forever unknown. And so, the lost Norse of Greenland remain ghosts in history. Thank you for watching Ancient Echoes, where history's forgotten voices come alive. If you enjoyed this journey, give this video a like, share it with curious minds, and subscribe for more legends, mysteries, and untold tales. Until next time, keep exploring the echoes of the past.